Oh my God, is it Monday? Yes, it is. Welcome back to your live dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker. Let me turn the music off. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, my name is Jackie Baker. I'm a real estate agent here in Northern New Jersey. This is your live dose of real estate reality. And we got some good stuff to talk about tonight. These interest rates, they're killing us. They're killing this market. They're just screwing everything up. That's why it says housing market is screwed by the interest rates. So we're going to have a discussion about that tonight. And I'm so excited to bring on Mr. David Matney. Hello, David.
Hey,
How
Jackie,
are you?
thanks for having me on.
Oh my God, thank you for being here. So if to everybody that's been watching the past few weeks, you see David commenting all the time. Dave and I go way back. So Dave's been on before, and I'm so happy to have you back on, David. This is like so much fun.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
It's like chatting
a
with
little bit harder to be live than it is to just be a chatter person.
Yeah, right. Than being in the chat box and asking questions. Yeah, now you're on the spot.
On the hot seat.
Yeah. No, this is good. Good stuff. So, David, as we were talking before we got on here, the interest rates. Oh my God. It's just the anticipation of these rates coming down this spring. I think that's really it's bringing people back in, making people interested in the real estate market again. But it's going to be messing with the housing market, and we know what's going to happen when rates come down, right?
Right. Oh yeah, the craziness is going to come back,
and the prices will probably go back up.
They're going back up,
so,
and they haven't stopped going up.
No. As I was just saying to you, here in New Jersey, it's been nonstop since 2020, really since 2019. It's been crazy, right. But the prices just keep going up and up and up because nothing is for sale. And the buyer demand it's still there. People need a place to live, right? Exactly. So, yeah.
I think what's nice about our market, differing from your market, is that we have new construction. So yep. The last 3 sales that closed for me were all new construction where buyers have to wait a little bit, but they can at least have something to buy. So
yeah, that's awesome.
New construction, that's got to be really rough.
It's hard. It's hard here. We don't have it. There's hardly any land. You know, Jersey's a pretty small state. Right. And like I said last week, no room at the inn. I mean, it's just not. Yeah. It's not a good place to be. But you know what? Let's just fingers crossed. So let's get into. I just want to pull up the article we were talking about today. So this is from Business Insider. This is the Case-Shiller. So we're talking about the Case-Shiller index. Now, this is a big index that the experts rely on when when we're looking at the housing market. So let me see here. Here we go. Let me talk about the Fed and the housing market. The good old Feds, our good friend Jerome Powell. So the Federal Reserve's aggressive moves to combat inflation with 10 consecutive rate hikes over 22 and 23 have put upward pressure on mortgage rates. Now, as we all know, it says here, while the Fed doesn't directly set the mortgage rates, the mortgage market's interpretations of the central bank's moves influence how much you're going to pay for a home loan. So now the long period of low mortgage rates following Great Recession came to an end in 22. In June of 22, rates topped 6% for the first time since 2008. The upward trend continued through October, where they hit a 23-year high of 8%. Yep. So the house price decline came at a time where mortgage rates peaked. So let me see. Let's go down here. Now, it's saying here, the current market has proved challenging on both sides of the real estate transaction. And unless we see a significant drop in either home prices or mortgage rates, both buyers and sellers will need to go with the flow. For prospective sellers, the new status quo dictates they remain flexible on price, given the extraordinary challenges posed by the sharp increase in mortgage rates. So this is, I don't know if you're seeing this at all out there hold on one second. Let me just get rid of that. Oh, where'd you go? I don't know if you're seeing this at all, like on the resale end, where sellers are actually, they're taking concessions, they're making concessions, or they're, offering, to pay the interest rate, do a little buy down on the interest rate for the buyers. I don't know. Have you seen any of that?
We've seen some of that. Or we've seen sellers have to reduce the price if they were way overpriced from the start.
Right.
And they had to be kind of brought back to reality a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
I
can't wait to see that.
Seeing the step up buyer where the person going from the buyers that are handcuffed.
Yeah.
A lot of my listings have been estate sales, or people that have passed away and the kids have contacted me, or they've been folks that are relocating, where they're moving out of. I had some folks are going back to Las Vegas, and then I had some other folks that were relocating. But that's been, other than that, the buyers that are like, hey, we just want a little bit bigger home, those buyers are long gone. Or the folks that have it's been mostly relocation or new construction, buyers relocating to Omaha.
Yeah.
And they're coming from a market like LA, and they could come into Omaha and pay, $325,000 and get a brand new home. And what's shocking about that is, entry level, a split entry, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage.
Yep.
4 years ago, you could get into something like that for under $200,000. And those days are gone. Now entry level is over. There is one. I have a video coming up on the lowest price new construction home in Omaha.
Yeah.
And there's one in North Omaha it cost them $260 to build, but they got a grant to reduce it down to $180, and it's only for homeowners only. But they get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a 1-car garage for $180,000.
Oh my God.
And they get a 6% interest rate, but they got to qualify. They got to be a certain income or lower. But I'm excited about that video because I thought, well, what's available,
Yeah.
There's always going to be a cost. It's not in, a new construction neighborhood. It's a refill where they've built new construction in an older neighborhood, but it's an opportunity for somebody, and that's good for folks to have that opportunity, but there's not enough of that going on.
But is that, so did they get that through like a state program, like a first time buyer program or something like that?
Some sort. It's Homeworks, it's homeworks.com, and it's a grant program where they've got some money somewhere from somebody to lower that price. And then the kids that are in the construction class at Metro Community College, those are the folks that are building it. So
really?
Yeah, so I think it's a pretty.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
They built another. The students at Metro Community College built another like a little village of tiny homes for the homeless. So I think that's a good thing.
Oh my God.
I need to do a video on that because I think that's a good opportunity. It's it's doing two things at once. It's helping the homeless, and then it's helping the students in the class. We have a good Metro. We have a good community college program here in Nebraska. Which
oh my God, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that idea. Oh my God, we need more of that. We definitely need more of that. That's incredible. Wow. Oh my gosh. Unfortunately here we're not going to see, we won't see that new construction. And it's unfortunate. I just want to share with everybody really quick too. Like this, I was showing you before, or talking to you about this. Everybody should get a load of this one. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Look at this. This is the market in January for New Jersey, the whole state. Look at this. So your monthly snapshot, 1 year change in median sales price, 12%.
Wow.
It increased 12% year over year because as we go down, new listings in January 23, there were 5,128, and there was 4,926. This is for the entire state of New Jersey. That's
Wow.
nothing. That's not like
Yeah.
it's really it's so concerning. And this is why, you know, this is why we're in the situation we're in here. And I had a colleague today tell me she was out with buyers and first time buyers. And
Yep.
she said the backyard was like the backyard was flooded. She goes, you could tell there was going to be a water issue with this house.
Right.
And their response was like, well, that's okay. Well, that's all right. That doesn't bother us. And she's like, doesn't bother you. She's like, it bothers me.
It will bother you. I'm
Like it's gonna bother you. Come, like
right.
when do you have a really bad rainstorm and your basement floods? But
Right.
but the problem is that people are getting to they're just getting to a point of desperation that they're going to take anything. In the video I did last week about buyers regretting buying their home. They were accepting mold and asbestos in the house. They were like, "Yo, that's okay. Like, we'll take it."
I watched your video and I agree with you. It's okay to be patient.
Yeah.
Everything works in a cycle and opportunity will come back. It's you got to be patient. And I understand people want to buy a home. They're anxious to get going. I get it, but you don't want to once you buy it, you have to maintain it.
Yep.
And you have to sell your soul sometimes to buy one.
I know.
I don't think people take into enough count maintenance, especially on some of these older homes.
Nope.
And, our big thing is tree roots in the main sewer line. And
yeah, we get that too. We have a lot of like homes built in like the early 1900s or up to like 1930, 1940. Those are the ones that tend to have that issue with the sewer lines with the roots growing through. And yeah, we get that too.
And what's so bad is, when we had the low interest rates, nobody did inspections, and you bought what you bought, and you got a low interest rate, or you paid cash. I mean, those are the folks that you'd have 15 offers. Okay, we're going to take the 3. Which cash offer do you want? And so those folks weren't doing inspections. And then now we have more first time buyers that want to buy.
Yep.
But I think folks have to be patient and they can't settle on something. It's okay to say no and move on.
Yep. Yeah. No, it is okay. And I like these new clients I just met with last week, tell them that it's all about timing right now. I'm a firm believer in that. And the right one will come along at the right time. Like it just, I'm a believer that like all the planets have to be aligned for it to happen. And I mean, it's the truth. So anyway, I just have a couple of comments here, David. Let's take a look at these.
Okay,
so
sure.
Edward, hi Edward. Thanks for being here. There are new home builds 35 minutes north of Austin for $225.
Wow.
Interesting. Wow. Edward, I'm glad you brought that up because my next topic for my next video, I'm going to be talking about Austin, Texas, and how I'm reading how Austin's kind of struggling right now. So, but let's see, Brittany Dean. Hi, Brittany. Thanks for being here. Oh, you just put an offer in on a home in Scotch Plains. We don't think we will get it. We won't forego an inspection. I don't blame you.
That's okay. That's all right.
Okay. Don't worry about that. Limit them. You can limit them, but I wouldn't waive an entire inspection. Absolutely not. No. And people are doing it. And like I was saying to David beforehand too, we're seeing still here in Jersey, we're still seeing a lot of cash offers.
Right.
$800,000 or even higher. They're paying cash. They're paying cash. It blows my mind. Like, where are you getting this?
We see it too, and it's like, where are these folks coming up with $1,000 worth of cash? I mean, that's just.
But like, is that like the mentality? Because the interest rates, they're like, I'm not going to pay those interest rates, and we're going to figure out how to make this happen. Sell off their investments, or get the parents. The parents are giving money. If it's a younger couple starting out, like I've seen that too. I've seen
seen it too. Yeah, I mean,
and that's okay. But when you're in that price point, like up towards $1 million, and you're like, yeah, I'm all cash. What?
Right. What's amazing, Jackie, when you had your stats up and you had 6,000 in the entire state of New Jersey.
Yep.
I remember back in 2008, in our market in Omaha, Nebraska, we had 6,000 homes just in our MLS in Omaha.
Omaha. Wow.
And I'm thinking, wow, in the entire state of New
State.
Jersey, you have 6,000 homes for sale. And we have, we had 6,000 back then. I mean, now we're at 1,500 in our in Douglas and Sarpy County, and that's up 29%.
God.
But it's like you guys are so much more restricted because of the new construction factor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. But look, so I tell people it's not impossible. The right one will come along. I have helped people secure a home in this market. It'll happen. It's just, again, patience and the strategy. It comes down to strategy too.
Right.
You gotta make that offer as attractive as possible to the seller without hurting yourself. You don't want to do anything that's, like foregoing an inspection.
Right.
And like I said last week, unless you go into a home with a contractor, somebody that's knowledgeable that can say, you know what, you're fine. Go ahead. Like, don't worry about it. Like, just waive the inspection. That's how I think people are doing it. I think, or they're just blindly saying, no, I don't need a home inspection. And then,
or they've got they got to have money saved back for those repairs, and they got to go into it anticipating those repairs and saying, okay, yeah, we need to do this.
Yeah.
Our property taxes in Nebraska are sky high, so we're a little bit more affordable on price.
What are your property taxes? Don't talk to me about property taxes. We're number one. We are number one. What are your taxes?
Okay, well, we're not number one, but we're in the top 10 in terms of we're taxed like a blue state. We're a red state that's taxed like a blue state.
So
does that make sense?
What are your taxes at?
I would probably say on average we're about 1.5% of market value.
So okay, so what is it like? I can't do the math on my head. What is it? It's like saying a $500,000 house. What would the taxes be?
Probably close to 10,000.
Whoa!
Yeah, we're right up there. Yeah.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah. And our insurance is high too because we have all that hailstorms.
Yes, we discussed that.
Our hail is through the roof, in our
God.
But I got to tell people, it's like, hey guys, you got to really make sure that you budget in for property taxes, and those puppies are just going up.
Oh my God! But that's like Jersey taxes.
We're right with you. There's nothing drawing people to Omaha.
Yeah,
we give farmers a break with crops and things like that. They're not taxed at the same amount as residential properties, so we make that up.
Yeah. Wow.
It's not like people are dying to get to Omaha, Nebraska.
Right.
I just got to visit.
Yep. But hey, if there's cheap houses there, man, sign me up. Like,
well, you know what though? I think we're a hidden gem. I think there's a lot going for us. I love Omaha. I think we have a good quality of life. I think we have.
Oh, I'm sure.
Other than the weather and the property taxes, I love Nebraska.
Yeah. Yep.
And eventually we'll have a good football team, but that's,
eventually. All right. So I have Christina Wood. Hi, Christina. Thanks for being here. How do you get an assumable mortgage? I've seen it advertised, but don't understand exactly what it is. From what I understand, David, correct me if you know about this. I thought FHA or VA loans were assumable.
Yes, they are.
But not conventional loans.
Right. Conventional is not.
Right.
I did do a VA assumable loan last year.
You did?
Yes. But here's the issue. It was a house that they purchased back in 2020.
Uh-huh.
And they had a 2.25 VA assumable loan.
Wow.
The buyers, but the house appreciated. So the buyers had to come up with $135,000 cash, and then they could assume the 2.25%. So they had to come up with, the problem with an assumable is you got to make up that difference. And then you also got to qualify for that loan, and you have to really, 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 really be patient The contract came in June. We didn't officially close until October. So
Oh,
everybody had to be patient. And everybody was cooperative too.
yeah.
Everybody was Johnny on the spot as far as getting paperwork in and
Yep.
everything. And it still took that long. So,
That's great.
Christina, what I would say is, A, you got to have some money up front, depending on the situation.
Yep.
And then B, you have to be really patient.
Yep.
And you still got to qualify for the loan, but the bank is in no hurry to assume that thing. But you don't have to be a veteran to assume a VA loan.
Right. That I knew. So David, walk Christina. Let's walk through the process then. So is it the same? So if somebody's going to assume that mortgage, are they going through the same process of like getting approved for a loan, right? And then, so when you're saying they got to make up the difference, so are they going by what's owed on that mortgage, and then you're tapping?
Yeah, they're going to assume what's owed. Like my people bought it at 420, and they still owed 370.
Got it.
But the sale price was $5.25. So they had to make up that difference of like $135,000. The buyers, in this case, if Christina was doing that, she would have to come up with $135,000 cash out of pocket.
Okay.
Then she could assume the loan at 2.25%.
Right.
$370,000. But it took a lot, but the people had to be qualified.
Yep.
And that was my first in 20 years of doing this. That was my first assumable loan.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's
because before, rates, for the last 15 years, rates have got nothing but have gone down.
Yeah.
So why would you assume a old, 5% loan? But I think if somebody has VA financing, that is a real value. Yeah. Because it is assumable. So there's sellers that don't know that they have a really marketable property that they can let go of that. And my people on that particular seller, the buyers were veterans too. So my guy got his eligibility back out too.
Oh.
So he was able to take his eligibility with him.
Really?
Because the new buyers who assumed it were also veterans.
That's so cool.
So it was way cool.
That's really cool. Oh my God.
There's a case where that buyer gets into that home at 2.25%, is not paying PMI or not paying any kind of mortgage insurance.
Right.
And they get that low interest rate, and it was a solid home. The problem is home prices appreciated. When that seller called me to say they were moving, I was shocked. I'm like, really? Are you sure you want to move?
Yeah.
I'm like, you got 2.5, and I was really hard for me not to want to buy it because I'm like, oh, I should buy this thing.
Right.
I was like, I'm like, and all through this transaction, I'm like, I should have bought that thing, but I was happy for the buyers, and I was happy for the sellers that they got that opportunity, but it's not an easy process.
Okay. Maybe you just have the patience, but my God, you can score big if you can get an assumable loan. Wouldn't it be nice if they offered some type of incentive for people who have those VA loans? Like, I don't know, give them something to, free up their home to sell to somebody else and let them take advantage of those rates.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would really free up the market if you could make loans assumable.
Yeah.
That would really free things up completely.
It would. It would, especially with conventionals. I wish you can do with conventional, but
or here's the other thing too. If you did do that, what's the unintended consequence? Do you just automatically drive up prices even more now? Does that make sense? I don't know. For every gimme, there's a gotcha.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. See, there we go. We're back in that vicious cycle again.
Exactly. So it's like,
freaking prices going up. Oh my God. I tell you. So let me see. So, okay. Just also wanted to share quickly, just one other article, the one from realtor.com, because I found this one today. This one just came out like several days ago. Hold on a second. So realtor.com, you're talking about when interest rates, how will the housing market look, what will the housing market look like once mortgage interest rates drops? Here's what home buyers can expect. more of the same thing. So where did it go? They mentioned here how majority of the people have rates, interest rates below 5%, like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But here it go. Okay, this is what Realtor.com is saying. It says down here, we expect mortgage rates will continue to gradually decline over the course of the next few years, alongside easier monetary policy. We look for the average 30-year mortgage rate to fall to 6% by the end of this year and 5.75 by the end of 2025.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Yes, it would. But the question is that going to be enough to motivate sellers? Is that going to be low enough? Like I always been saying, I think the rates need to be in that low 5 or even just 5% in order for a seller to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to sell my house now because I can afford that interest rate. But I don't know. But another quick thing I want to mention here. This is under here where it says home buyers can expect more competition. Well, with these rates coming down, as we were saying before, that there's a lot of buyers on the sidelines, and as they come down, it's going to bring more people back. But this is an interesting fact. For every 1% drop in mortgage rates, there are 5 million more households that qualify for home ownership.
Wow.
1% drop, 5 million more buyers come back into the market. What?
Yeah.
Are you? So again, not to freak people out, but you got to have, there's got to be that number. Like I said, I say 5%. You know what?
I think you're right. I think there's a number with a 5 in it.
It's got to be a 5 or low 5s or 5. I think 5 is going to create more of a balanced market. Now,
Right.
Is it going to be balanced in 2025? No, I think it's going to take years. I think it's going to take years to bring that back to normal. But here's my prediction. You want to hear my little prediction?
Okay.
Here's what I think. I think by the end of this year, right around election time, I think you're going to see the mortgage rates be around 5%, in that 5 range.
I bet you that I would bet you on that. I wouldn't bet against you on that.
Okay, cool.
I wouldn't bet against you on that because I agree. I think there's going to be political pressure there.
There's absolutely
to put the brightest.
Absolutely.
Try to make this thing as pleasant as possible.
Yep.
I believe that. I think when we went from 8% in October down to 6.5% in January. January was really, really busy for us when we got down to 6.5%. And then when things popped back up again at 7%, it seemed like there were.
Yeah. Oh, you froze up there, David. You there?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I could hear you. Sorry, you froze up a little bit. You're good.
I think when rates went down to 6.5% in January was real busy once we got over the cold spell. And then when rates went back up again at 7%, it seems like things cooled off again. So I think if rates come down, stand by. And I think there's buyers right now that are just waiting and they're anticipating those rates coming down. And that's just going to mean when those rates come down, those buyers are flooding back into the market. And we're seeing prices just like I'm not sure what video it was of yours that you said the predictions for this year. I forget going up this year. So it's like, well, I mean, I don't see, and what kills me, Jackie, is, and I get it, bad news sells, but there's so many folks out there pushing out narratives of the market crashing, and I get caught up into it. I listen to them too. I'll give, Jerome Powell has red eyes and there's flames. The house is on fire and the market's going to crash. But it's like they've been predicting a crash for 4 years. For the last 4 years, they've been saying this. And I like your video where it's like this is a market of 1980 versus 2008. Yeah, and all of those folks were never around in 1980. I know. And this is the echo boom because you had the baby boomers holding up that market. Yep. And this is the kids of the baby boomers keeping things elevated now.
I know.
You know, and you look at age demographics, and nobody wants. They sure get a ton of views.
Yep.
On their videos, and you know, I get it. You know, it's like just because you can't afford something doesn't mean somebody out there can't afford it.
Right.
Unfortunately, you
know.
just because prices are too high for the average person, well, there's somebody who's not average still buying it.
Yep. So we got a couple more comments. Thank you everybody for your comments and questions tonight. Hello, Marlon. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for coming back from Clifton. Yes, home prices in New Jersey are ridiculous. I feel like there's going to be more renters than buyers if the feds don't bring the rates down. You know, I don't disagree with that, Marlon, because, and you know what I'm noticing in Jersey also, we talked about this last week too, David, that I'm seeing a lot more apartment buildings being built in Jersey.
Yes.
And that's what I think that's what they're trying to do. Like, oh, if you can't buy a house, rent an apartment and, you know, pay a landlord. So anyway, Joel. Hi, Joel. Thanks for being here. The real estate market will not crash. The general economy is strong. It is all a lack of inventory. That is a problem. Thank you, Joel. Yes, you are right. Because we call them crash bros. Me and Christina Smallmon. We call them crash bros. These guys on this YouTube platform, and I always tell people, look, you gotta. They get you to click. But you go in and watch it and really pay attention to what they're saying to you, and look at the information. Like what is their source? And if you go even looking at articles, you see the headline. You know, market. You know, is the market going to crash? It's going to crash. It's going to do that.
Right.
Read the fine print. Read the article, because they'll get you. They'll suck in.
Yeah.
But then they'll tell you, you know, like, oh well, you know, no, it's really not. You know, could it? Probably not. I mean, it always goes to that. And but look, you know, not everybody can be like you and I, David, where we're just honest and we tell you how it is. So
right. I mean,
you know.
But we're seeing a lot more multifamily construction. I had a guy come in from Miami. He was considering moving to Omaha, and I was just driving him around the city, and he goes, oh, you guys are starting to go vertical now, because what people are doing is tearing things down and building up apartment buildings.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Miami was like that, you know, many years ago. And he goes, you guys are just starting it now. And I'm like, I'll be darned. Yeah, we probably are.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, Jackie, let me ask you this here. And I don't know with the folk, and maybe I shouldn't even bring this up, but my question is when we have folks that are coming across the border, those folks have to find a place to live too.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to drive up rents and make an already scarce housing situation even worse.
You bring up an excellent point.
And I hate to be political, because you know I don't want to be political here.
I get. Listen, I know I don't like getting political either. However, this is a problem.
I mean, I think it's just reality. And I think the other thing too that nobody's talking about is you got folks coming across the border that need housing. That's going to squeeze somebody out of a rental house, or you know, that's going to make rental housing more scarce, driving up the price. Then you have, if they're working illegally, that's going to drive wages down to make housing less affordable. Yeah. Which means I think there's even less likelihood of a crash.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think it means more people living in tents is what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm, you know.
I listen, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, we're already seeing it. I mean, I just go look at New York City. I mean, I'm right next door to New York City, and it's just it's there. It's happening. Somebody just wrote here, Mike. Hi, Mike. New York City rental apartment vacancy rate is 1.4%.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's with rent control too. And I don't even know how I don't even know how a person lives or works in New York City. When I look at when I look at, I'm like, being from the Midwest, I'm just like, how does that work?
It's so funny when I meet people from other parts of the country and they're like, "Oh, really?" I worked in this back in the day, in my 20s. I had a job, worked in Manhattan briefly.
Right.
I did not like it. I didn't like the commute. I didn't like being in the city. I like to go visit, but to go in it every day
Right.
and just, for me, I didn't like it. But my husband, he worked in Manhattan for 20 something years. And then,
Wow.
yeah, he did that commute. And, now it's so different because since the pandemic, a lot of companies have moved out and
Right.
a lot of people are remote, which,
Right.
it's good, but the crime in the city is so bad right now. Like I would say in the past year, people getting mugged, like women going to walk
Right.
into the office getting mugged in broad daylight. In broad
Yeah.
daylight. Like, yeah, did that happen in prior years? Absolutely, but it just seems to be more frequent now.
Right.
You're seeing the crime is just outrageous in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen, I'd probably come to Omaha and be like, "This is freaking great. Sign me up. Get a cheap house, no traffic, no congestion." Like, yeah, sign me up, man. This is great.
And we're kind of a Second Amendment friendly state too. So there's a
Okay.
lot of people that
Well,
are
there you go.
there's a lot of people that are armed. So
Yeah,
it's like,
right. Yeah. I mean, here not so much. And
yeah,
it's very challenging.
right.
But look, I grew up here. Like I always loved being near the city to have that access if I want to go see a show or
Right.
whatever. But now that I'm older, no, it's
Yeah.
fine. And even my kids, like my kids don't go to the city. My daughter, she likes to go in, but my two boys,
Right.
they don't like to go in at all. They have no desire. So
I've never been to New York City, so I'd like to go, but I'm kind of like a little scared to now because I'm just like, I'm staying in a very expensive hotel because
yeah.
I want to,
Listen, as long as you're, if you're in a decent, you're in an okay part of the city and you're out during the day, like I just don't just, and you have to be with somebody too. You can't like
right.
I just travel in groups. Don't be by
Okay.
yourself. Don't look like a tourist. And
Right.
that is so true. And just always like keep your just like be looking everywhere. Like act like you gotta act like you know what you're doing when you're in the city. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
gotta walk straight ahead. Do not be like, "Oh, look at the sky, look at the highway." Don't do that.
Don't look like you're from Omaha.
Exactly. You're a total target at that point. If you're like somebody sees you like, "Oh, they go tourist," yeah, don't do
Yeah.
that. But,
Hence
yeah.
why I'm not going. Why I'm not leaving Omaha.
Okay, good. You might wanna rethink visiting New York City, David.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mike has information here. Rent
Oh, okay.
control. Okay, rent control is a very small percentage, less than 1%,
Wow.
16,400 units. 44% of rent stabilized. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that bit of information there, Mike. I appreciate it. Um, so yeah, if I were you, David, like just don't
Stay put.
stay in Omaha. You want to come to Jersey and go to the beaches. We have nice beaches, but yeah, the city, no, 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 no. I'm done with that. Oh, been there, done that. So yeah, so basically this is we're still in the same boat with this market.
Right.
And I think the best advice, I mean, wherever people are watching from, you just got to be prepared. You just got to
Yeah.
be prepared. If you're going to go in, if you're in it to win it, you got to be prepared. Have all your ducks in a row.
And be
Do not
ready.
do not waive inspections.
Yeah.
Don't waive inspections. I hate hearing that. I hate it. Like because then you're gonna have people coming back to you years from now, like, I had all these problems with the house. Like, really? No, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it's not worth it. Like you said, let's have patience. The right
Yeah.
one will come along. So, a quick question for you.
Mhm.
Do you have a lot of first time buyers out there?
We do.
Yeah. I'll bet, because that price point, I'm sure. I mean, it's so affordable.
Right. It's still, you know, and then especially if they're relocating from another locale, if they're coming from, we get a lot of people from, you know, the East Coast, and we get a lot of people from the West Coast. And when they come to Omaha, they're like in shock over the quality of life. Once they get over the weather and the property taxes,
Yep.
then they're like, hey, this is really, really nice. You know,
Yep.
we don't have, we don't have some of the craziness, but it's getting more crazy.
Crazy in what sense?
Like craziness, you know, just some of the, some of the crazy things you see in other states where, you know, like I saw, you know, like we don't have, when you go to a park in Nebraska, you don't see, it's not flooded with tents. You know, some of that craziness is what I mean. But we're starting to see more of that, unfortunately, just because housing is so unaffordable.
Right.
For folks. So
and it's scarce. I mean, a lot of these cities you're seeing the tents because it was just scarce. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
What do you do, you know, if you're in this?
Yeah.
And I feel for those folks because
yep.
You know, what are they? And then you got folks that are, you know, on drugs and everything like that, and those folks, you know, I mean, you got working poor that are living in RVs and tents, and then you have folks that are just completely out of their mind, wandering around like zombies, and
that's sad.
I don't know how you fix that. I think you said it from the start. I think this whole thing is going to take years to unwind.
It is.
And I hate to even say this or even think this, but it may take not until we have the baby boomer generation, those folks, you know, passing away, or, you know, silver tsunami where they go to a nursing home.
Go to a nursing home and then freeing up their homes. I know. Yeah.
You know, but I think you talk to a lot of them, and then there's, you know, it just, more people are aging in place, and you know, so they're not, you know.
I know. It's tough. It's tough. We need more homes. We just need more homes.
Yeah, we just need more homes. Exactly.
That's it. So anywho, oh my God, we've been on here for about 45 minutes.
Yeah, I really had a good time, Jackie. I
always have a good time.
Be on the program.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you joined me. So, if anyone is going to consider going to Omaha, please get connected with David. I'm going to leave his information on my description box. And go check out David's channel. I'm going to put a link to his channel so you can learn all about Omaha. He's got a great channel.
Almost at 2,000 subs. I'm about 65 subscribers away. Yes, so
that's awesome.
I'm really excited about that. Yeah, congratulations. You're one of my analytic tools, and I'm like, I seen the last couple of videos for you, and I'm like, way to go, Jackie.
Yeah, thank you.
2,000, and I think when we met at Vid Summit, I think you were at,
I think it was like 2,000 subs. Yeah,
so
it was very minimal.
8,000 today, and I'm so congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
You do a great job. Your editing is just on point. You do a great job. It's very, very entertaining. And
I appreciate that. I can't take credit. I just have a great editor. She's awesome. She's awesome. I love her. Wait, awesome. Somebody who is this? Dano. Hey, good to see you, Dan. Thanks for being here. This is awesome. And you know what I love? Like the amount of subs that just joined in the past week. I'm like, this is awesome. It's like now I'm like, this community is just getting getting bigger and better. And I just, but like all of us real estate agents that have YouTube channels. I mean, we're here to help people, right? That's the purpose of these channels.
And I think it's really to cut through. There's so much promotion. It's nice that the consumer gets information versus promotion, Exactly. So I think it's been a great thing. I've really enjoyed having a channel, and it's been a lot of fun. And it's allowed me to meet other people and learn a lot of different things about other markets. So that to me is a lot of fun. And I really appreciate you having me on this evening.
Oh my God. And please come back again. We will do this.
I'll be in the chat. I'll be in the live chat. You know that.
No, you're great. No, you do a great job. No, you're love to have you back. Now, you were awesome. I so appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
So everybody stay tuned for next week's video. I'll be dropping on Sunday, and I'll be back live again next Monday. And I wish everybody a great week, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.